What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Healthy Living Scottsdale podcast. I am your host, Coach Adam. We're here with Coach Damon today. The boys are back in town. It's just the two of us here hanging out with you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get into a little bit on this new knee program that we've found a way to integrate, basically, and be able to start to roll out in the last week or so, 10 days with select members. And we're going to get a little bit into that, a little bit about the knee anatomy. Damon's got a lot of background on that and some experience. But first, as always, we're going to start it off with Member of the Week. And this week we're going with Miss Lori Schroeder. Just an absolute unit. You see her walking around the gym, and I mean, she's shredded. Like maybe more than me. Definitely more than you, but
all right, settle down there. Settle down.
No, she's been having like great in-bodies. She's on this. Her in-bodies have been great. I don't know, for the last 4 or 5. Her track record is really starting to build up and speak for itself. But she's just been putting on great muscle. She's really good at tracking. I don't know, from what I've seen and you see in the morning, she's on it.
Oh, absolutely. During the gym, she's always on it, making sure that she's putting her numbers in. I've been seeing new maxes showing up for her. Her form's been getting better, and going with the in-body scans as well. I can tell just from an in-perspective view of seeing her in the gym, just seeing the physique change, as well as bumping up the weight. You can just see the massive difference.
Yeah, and she talks about it. She, with her energy levels, she usually comes in and, she'll either walk some low intensity, like steady state type cardio on the treadmill. She'll do that for a solid 45 minutes, maybe half an hour before or after her workout. And then, sometimes she's the last one, kind of like first one in, last one out situation. She doesn't really care how long she goes. She knows the hour after hers is our lunch. So She just rolls right into it. She's like, I'm going to get it all done. I'm going to crush it, take the appropriate rest and everything. So keep crushing it, Lori. We know you're on a mission, and you're getting there, really getting there. So we're just going to go ahead and dive in here to this episode is called Knee Knowledge. We'll play on words there, but really it's going to be talking about this new knee program that we've started here, kind of built into our programming. How about we start off with a little bit of basic knee anatomy, kind of, terminology that people will be familiar with, and kind of just explain, leave kind of like a little outline of just what we're going to get into in a little more in depth.
Yeah, so just like the general anatomy of the knee when it comes to just people in general, that are typical problems is the tendons, which is the quadricep tendon, which is on the top of the patella, and the patellar tendon, which is in between your tibia and your patella. Those are 2 common areas that people find a lot of pain. And going outside of the tendons, you got the ACL, PCL, and
there's the MCL, LCL. So essentially, your knee there's 4 ligaments plus the meniscus in the center.
Right.
The ACL, PCL, LCL, and MCL, all basically surrounding kind of 4 quadrants or 4 sides of the knee, and they act as stabilizers, essentially.
Correct, yes. And they're big foundations to how you move, being able to cut back and forth. Like for ice skaters, for example, that's going to be a lot on the ACL when it comes to the knee valgus, is what people call when they squat down and their knees cave in. That's putting a lot of stress on the ACL. Is like a small example of one of the big ligaments, common problems that we see here.
Yeah, for sure. Then that valgus issue is, I would say, not only common or seen often here at Legacy, but gyms everywhere. It's a common sign of both like glute and quadricep weakness, and just essentially your knee trying to compensate for the strength that your surrounding muscle and tendon just can't provide for the knee.
Absolutely, and one thing I got to add on that too is that it's more common in women to have knee valgus just because their knees are naturally caved in a little bit more compared to men. So you see it most commonly with women. That's one thing I had to add there.
Yeah, that's like that classic high school, sport, like high school girls. It's that prime window for them where they're still in the stage of their development where ligaments aren't fully formed, but they're starting to have so much impact, especially if they're, active in sports, that ACL injury rate is absolutely insane, skyrockets for high school girls. So going to get a little bit into like what makes, you wanted to touch on something about kind of the healthcare industry as a whole a little bit and what they like to do. Not to say it's bad, but we have a little bit of a different approach as far as how we would look to tackle a knee situation or somebody that comes in with that.
Right. So no hate on the healthcare industry. It's just their main focus is to fix a problem that already occurred.
Right.
Our goal is to be able to prevent the problem from even happening or from preventing it to get even worse by maintaining it and just trying to fix it to where you can at least get through the workout, get through your day with ease. And that's kind of the main goal that we're trying to accomplish here.
Right. So that's kind of segues into why we created this knee program, because we want it to be much more of a prevention, but like you used the word maintenance type program where we can both address the issues or whatever you might be having going on with your one knee, maybe both of them bilaterally, but still be able to work in the format and the structure of the rest of our, a given workout essentially in a day. So like, for example, today we, by the time you guys are listening to this, we're probably already 2 to 3 weeks deep into a strength phase. So, low sets and low reps, but the idea is to really push load, and we're trying to essentially find a near maximum weight for most of our exercises, really trying to push ourselves. So on a day like today, for example, we had a horizontal pull on the barbell, which is essentially like your bent over row is a horizontal pull. And then the other compound movement was a split squat. So a split squat is a lower body pushing exercise. You're using your lower body to push against the ground. So in place of that split squat today, for example, we have a specific knee program, a split squat knee RX option that our coaches can choose from. And essentially it opens up the same movement matrix that we use for all of the exercises in our library, which is basically a -3 all the way up to a +3 scale with all different progressions and regressions along the way. And we have that option now, or that library, for knee rehabilitation / prevention exercises. So, let's just take a typical kettlebell goblet split squat that, your regular person without any knee issues might be doing today. What, Damon, would you choose there, like in place? Give a specific exercise, like one of the ones that we, created for the matrix. What would you put in there and why in place of a split squat?
So for an example of a split squat variation that we're trying to fix for somebody that has knee pain or is having trouble with it, it might be one of those things where it could be even just body weight to start, focusing on the eccentric. So going slow on the way down as much as possible, really trying to activate that quad, because most of the time when you're having knee pain, it's because your muscles aren't firing. You might have overactive hip flexors. So when we're slowing down the movement, we're getting more time under tension and we're being able to promote more blood flow to that area as well. So that's kind of the main focus. So it could start off with just body weight, just going nice and slow. Maybe your front foot is elevated a little bit too, so that way your range of motion doesn't have to go as far deep.
Yep.
And to progress from that, we could add the weight, but we can do an overload drop. So for example, that would be going all the way down, and once you reach down to the bottom and the kettlebells touch the ground, you would let go and explode at the top, so that way you're still promoting that blood flow and that muscle activation in your quads, but exploding through and still being fast and producing force.
Yeah, so that's like a perfect example of how you can work. Eccentric is super important as far as muscle recruitment and building strength back in a quadricep, for example, like a weak muscle that is maybe stemming or like the origin of your issue. Starting with something body weight and then being able to work eccentrically, understand what that means. It's the lengthening of a muscle and again, the redirection of blood flow to that area. That's kind of the main goal there. And then being able to combine that then with the concentric, which is what most people would consider the quote unquote hard part of any given exercise, where you're exerting that energy. being able to combine both of those types of muscle contractions in a given rep, and then be able to, again, play with load. It can be body weight, it can be, dual kettlebell, it could be single. And so we're really trying to key in on, and it takes patience, right? Like we're lucky enough that we're rolling this out in a strength phase currently. So the most reps that they're doing on a single side is 5, right? So it's like down the line, we will probably make adjustments where it's needed, because to be able to go down slowly with 2 kettlebells, set it down, stand concentrically quick, and then go and get them again to start the next rep. It's a lot of work, but the quality of the repetition is super high, and we're just dialed in on so many different, aspects of it. That's a pretty solid example. I know today we also had like lateral squats. We're in the second block, similar situation there, but moving laterally, in the frontal plane, side to side, not so much the sagittal plane. But all those upper body exercises that everybody else in the gym, without any of the knee issues or anything like that, all of that stays the same. Correct. So really it's a little bit of your warm up, 1 or 2 exercises in the warm up that might be different from the rest of the session, and then 1 or 2 exercises throughout the workout where we're trying to address a specific issue. We also have myofascial release, foam rolling specific for that, and we see a lot of mobility exercises too, which I think people come in for their hour session, and sometimes it's kind of like a get in, get out type thing. But when you're having an issue like that, you want to slow down and take the time to address it, because it'll help with your consistency. 100%. You don't want to lose. You don't want to just be out of the gym. So it keeps people active and engaged in the programming, but we're addressing essentially a trouble spot just a little bit differently. Just to give a little bit of just scale on how many people are doing it, we have currently 13 people that do it out of all of our members here at Legacy. So it's for the coaches, it gives an opportunity to spread and share knowledge, and especially you, like with your background on it, and be able to really personalize an experience for somebody, and make somebody feel like, wow, this is really this is going to benefit me in the long run. There's a lot of special attention that's being paid to me here, but I'm also not able to skip a beat, and I can continue to work out how I regularly would. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about here? Why do we have it? It's again, kind of repeat on what I just said. We don't want people to, and I think another kind of somewhat common I don't know, what do you say? Healthcare industry will revert to inactivity to solve a lot of issues, and that's not what we want to do. It's kind of a use it or lose it,
Right. It's the worst way to go about it. When they're telling you to rest, don't. It's just like, that's the worst thing that you could do, especially if it's just like a common injury like tendonitis. No,
right, that's not going to just disappear.
Yeah, no, it's not going to disappear. I can speak from firsthand experience. I have tendonitis in both my quadricep tendons, and that was just through catching and stuff like that. Just a lot of deep squatting for years.
Yep.
And I'm still dealing with it, and I'm not even playing the game anymore. But I've been able to maintain it to be able to go through my workouts. And it's a grind. It takes time, but if you really care about trying to do the best quality workouts that you can do, you really need to take the time and effort to, 1, stretch, 2, get the blood flow going, and 3, just not skipping a beat when it comes to just doing the exercises. Right. It's like there's a reason for it, and you just got to trust the process. It's going to be a long road, but once you continuously do it, you're going to see a difference, I promise you.
Yeah, it's going to benefit like everyday life, and that's why we always try to say we're trying to integrate fitness into your lifestyle. We want you to be able to use your knees and have them be effective for you, pain-free, or at least on a much more reduced level than whatever you came to us with. And we want you to simultaneously address the rest of your body too. So whatever your goals might be, we can kind of hit 2 birds with 1 stone with this new knee program. and we're excited to roll it out. Damon kind of spearheaded it here with me. I do most of the programming, but we collabed on it, and we're pretty happy with it. And we're going to have something similar. We've noticed, at least, knees is a super common spot, right? And then I think another area that we're going to try to dial into here in the near future is going to be a shoulder RX program as well. And that's, another joint with a lot of issues. Shoulder's not the best joint. So have that to look forward to. And we'll have some more great stuff for you guys next week.
Thank you so much for listening to the Healthy Living Scottsdale podcast. Do you have a question that you'd like for us to answer live on the podcast? If so, all you need to do is head over to the Apple Podcast app on your iPhone and do 3 simple things. First, leave us a rating and review telling me what you think of the podcast. In that review, ask anything you want related to health, fitness, or nutrition. And if you want a shout out, leave us your Instagram handle or name. That's all you have to do. Then listen to hear your questions answered live on the next Q&A episode.